Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, stories from the 78. Chicago, man, has always been a great town to see anything live. I'm talking about music, plays, theater, all of the things combined, and the dance theater up in the Andersonville / Ravenswood area, no exception. They've been doing their thing since 2001, and now they have a new play starting up here in a couple of days. It's called Funny Like an Abortion. Yep, you heard that right. Funny Like an Abortion. I have my friends here, Elizabeth and Eileen, now to join me for the 7-8. Ladies, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Thanks.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Hanging out with me here on the stories from the 78. Where are you guys, where are you ladies at in the city as far as neighborhoods?
Right now, I'm in East Albany Park, Ravenswood Manor, where I get to see Rod Blagojevich often running down the street on the sidewalk.
Just somebody, you know what? I just was talking to somebody about that, and somebody's like, I wonder if he still jogs.
He does. He really, really
Yep.
does. And he blocks traffic all the time doing it too.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you know.
I saw him. I was on a first date walking through the park, and he jogged by and said hello to us. And the guy could not focus on the date after that, and was like, he was like, I can't believe it. We just saw Rod Blagojevich. I was like, so do you like movies? Like, he just could not
I mean, what's
move
your
on
favorite
from
food?
it.
Do you like pizza? I mean, it's Rod
He was like,
Blagojevich. It's not
oh,
like Bono
Rod.
ran by, right?
Oh, okay.
Ran.
And then I'm in like uptown Andersonville, Ravenswood, conglomeration.
Love
Yeah.
it. I used to live in Ravenswood, so I'm very familiar with that part of the city.
Awesome.
But we're here to talk about the theater that, Elizabeth, you started this wonderful Chicago-based theater. Why don't you explain a little bit about it and what you guys are all about?
Sure. So Chicago Danztheatre Ensemble was founded in 2001, way back when.
So a couple years ago.
Yeah, just a couple years ago
Yeah.
when I was like 26 years old. I just turned 50 this year, so that's kind of exciting.
You look fantastic.
And thank you. And when I started the organization, I had no idea that it was going to turn into everything that it is. It started with a simple production, maybe not so simple, an adaptation of T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland, which is an epic poem.
Absolutely.
And did it as a dance theater style with physical acting, and people like really loved it. And then I was just like, I'm not ready to start a company. And I ran away to Europe for a couple of months. And then I came back and I was like, okay, I'm ready. And that's how it started. And also the next year started an arts education program alongside of it in 2002. And now our arts ed program, we work with over 3,000 kids a year in the Chicagoland area, working with preschool through high school, teaching dance, theater, visual arts, music, after school, during the daytime, mostly serving kids who don't have a lot of opportunities for the arts.
Mm-hmm.
We also run a huge summer camp every year as well called Kids Project, and then Artist Adventures are for the older kids. And with our performance side, we have 10 years ago, we moved into the auditorium at Ebenezer Lutheran Church, and we started doing the renovations of it. And
Is
now
that on Foster?
Alpha Foster, yes,
Yeah.
1650 West Foster. And it's been an amazing journey. And actually, how I met Eileen is she did one of our very first ever festivals that we had there called Full Circle. And she did a beautiful storytelling about her experiences and journey with eating and body. And it was something that I totally related to, and many people from the audience. And interesting enough, there was cupcake eating in it. And in the show that we're talking about, there's also cupcake eating.
Full circle moment, huh?
We have renovated the space through many different grants with the Saints Foundation. And also we're really excited about this one with the Bayless Family Foundation, in which we're able to get a brand new floor for our space. And in addition to our performance work, we also do festivals, but we also do subsidized rentals, working with other artists throughout the city of Chicago. And I think what's really cool about us is we're not just a theater company, we're not just a dance company, but we are dance theater in the full term, that we also have an art exhibition that goes along with every production. And currently we have 5 visual artists and residencies at our space. So we're doing a lot on
Did you say residency in the space?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have 5 artist lofts spaces now.
Wow, that's like a whole incubator you got going on over there.
It is. We're making magic happen.
And then Eileen, you have this wonderful new production that you're putting on. Funny Like an Abortion. Is that right? So
Yep, that's the one.
yeah, explain that one a little bit.
Yeah, so we are co-producing this piece with Chicago Dance, and my theater company is Fat Theater Project. Sort of a similar kind of journey in creation as Elizabeth, where like you start something, everybody's like, this is great, and you're like, I'm not ready to start a theater company. I did not run off to Europe, but looking back, that feels
I know that's a whole other
like a
story
must.
we got to talk about later, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got lots of about that one.
So, yes, Fat Theater Project, I started last year at the beginning of 2024, and I thought it would just be this like kind of small little thing that maybe people would be interested in, occasionally doing. And we got a lot of feedback right away. Our mission is twofold, that we tell stories about fatness and fat people, but we also tell stories that are about people, and sometimes fat people tell those stories. So we do everything from like, there's a solo show called Too Fat to Run, about running a marathon in a fat body. We also did a series of plays last year that are just about people falling in love, that just was played by fat actors. So it's so wonderful to do this piece with Chicago Dance, which again is like the 10 years later, me eating cupcakes, doing performance work about bodies in that space, and then this show, Funny Like an Abortion, which involves cupcakes, involves bodies in the same space. Yeah.
Is it, for the actors that have to do this, or yourself, I imagine it's pretty vulnerable to be up on stage to do this kind of work for any actor in general, but to really like lean into this space that you're speaking out. I imagine is it a different kind of muscle that you have to use, or is it the same? It's acting?
I would say, so I'm directing this production, and we have a cast of 2. And we have understudies, we've got a production team, and the production team cast crew is a mix of body sizes, but intentionally, I'm a fat person. There are fat people in the room. This script has nothing to do with being fat. There's no allusion to it in the script, but the actors, I know one of the actors really embraces like not covering their body, and so wears a shirt that shows their belly. And that is, in some ways, yes, it is brave to do that, but on the other hand, we don't treat it like it's this, oh my god, I can't, oh my gosh,
like it's brave, right? Like it's just
right, it's incredible,
right?
It's just her costume,
right?
And so I think that is the really wonderful thing about this production, is that it's just very normalized to have a fat body. We have a few disabled folks as part of our production. So like, if people need to sit in chairs, if people need to get a new chair because their body doesn't fit in it, if people need to sit on the floor, if people need to slow down, if people need to speed up, like it just is a space that's very conscious of people taking care of their bodies. And I sometimes think that theater, and I'm sure Elizabeth, you can speak to this with dance, it's like, let me push my body to the limit in favor of the show. The show must go on. If my ankle is swollen, I'm going to tape it up and go. I fell down and I'm bleeding. I'm going to get right back up. Oh, it's funny if I slam myself into a wall. Let me do that. And that is not what either of us are interested in doing. It's not a sustainable practice for bodies of any size.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, when I founded, Chicago Dance Theater from the beginning, I always, DEI is such a big word right now. And I never thought about it in that. And I mean, it was a lot of, being in the 20s, right? And not also having the context around this. But I was like, why don't we have all different types of bodies performing on stage? Why also don't we have all different skin colors performing on stage?
Right. And then why is it such a big deal when it is shown, like what you were talking about before, about, oh, that's so brave, or all, like it could just be
It
art.
just is. I mean, with our arts ed side, we talk about all the time on our stuff, is that we hire teachers who look like me, right? And what does that mean? And it's just hiring teachers who work within the community, teachers who understand. It's the empathy creating. It's not that big of a deal. It's just the community that we serve. And I feel like, you know, unless you are very ethnocentric, right? Like a Mexican fine arts group or something, there's context within that, right? But we are Chicago. We are everybody's, and that's what we want to represent.
And that's what people can go to and enjoy right now. How long is the this particular performance running?
Sure. So we have a preview on Monday with a press opening on Tuesday. And then we run, was it March 14th, right?
14th
14th
Next
through
Friday.
the 30th.
Yeah.
Yes. So there are a total of 9 shows at 7:30 p.m. But people should come at 7 o'clock to look at the art gallery, have some drinks and some snacks, and to talk.
About to ask, you got some booze up in there or what?
Of course we do.
That's what everybody always asks me. Do they know they're going to serve alcohol? I'm like, geez, yes.
Also, the other thing that we're doing is we're doing a lot of tabling. There's going to be different organizations who are going to have a chance to come out, have their info there. Some of the nights we're going to have their actual members there as well. We are going to do a couple talk backs. And so we're hoping that, this topic, abortion, is so polarizing, but I think the thing is people don't understand what abortion actually is. And I will say, like, I went to Catholic school and it was just like, don't kill the babies. And then as an adult, I started learning what abortion actually is. And abortion is something that when you have a miscarriage, you need to have it, right?
Yeah.
And it's such a bigger topic and a bigger understanding. And so one of the things that Chicago Dance Theater always does, which is why we're very happy to partner with Fat Theater Project, is that we use our stage as a platform for conversation, right, with social justice. And I hope that people come to see this show and that they'll be like, oh, I have learned a few things, right? And even like I learned this from Eileen, that Plan B, it only really works if you're 150 pounds or less.
I did not know that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
So for fat people who can get pregnant, Plan B is not an effective option. And a lot of fat people don't know that.
No.
And so it not only, I've heard of people buying double the amount. So seeing if they can double the efficacy, so there's all sorts of things that are true or not true. And even like saying abortion is polarizing, it is, but it is a incredibly popular viewpoint.
Exactly.
If you look at polls, if you look at people's viewpoints, actually most people agree that abortion should be legal and available.
Yeah, I mean,
but
just
it's
look
polarized.
at the last election, right? Like how polarizing it was, and how ridiculous to some that we had to go through that all over again after things were set back in the 60s and 70s. So yeah,
my daughter who just turned 5 has less rights than I did.
Yeah, the same thing. Yeah. I have 2, so yeah, it's very heightened in our house for sure. And thank you for sharing all of this for the audience and about the theater. Eileen, what do you want people to walk away from? I know that Elizabeth, you mentioned like what you learned from it, but Eileen, what do you want folks to walk away from when they come and see the performance?
What I really love about this play is that it does not sugarcoat the experience of wanting an abortion, of needing an abortion, of seeking an abortion. But the play also offers a lot of humor and a lot of hope. And it is a play about someone wanting an abortion, but it is solely a play about female friendship. Above all, it's a play about 2 women who love each other and are family to each other. And I think one of the most important things to walk away from is we can't do this alone. We need each other. And we want to, by bringing in organizations like Chicago Abortion Fund, we want to offer community, because community is the way we're going to be able to move through this. That's the only way we can fight whatever we are looking to fight.
Absolutely. And I think you hit it right on the head of like making people be aware that they're not alone. I think that's kind of like the golden rule in life, when you know, people get in, you know, in dark ways, and you want them to you want to be that person that reminds them of the light, and that they're not alone and they don't have to do anything by themselves. So kudos to the both of you, Elizabeth, for giving that platform, and for Eileen being the person to help tell that story. Great stuff. And this is why I love Chicago. I love Chicago for its arts and culture, and pushing the conversations throughout. So thank you both very much.
You're welcome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Yeah,
you.
and real quick again, the website for people to get the tickets and everything else for the show.
Sure. If you can read backwards, it's danztheatre.org.
Thank you.
Dance Theater.
And I appreciate it very much. Thank you, ladies, and have an awesome day.